Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. The race-inspired look of the Roush Mustangs has been popular with Mustang enthusiasts for a long time. The 2015 Mustang is no different. Mustang owners love adding some small Roush touches to their normal EcoBoost or GT to give it that nice custom look. The Roush Rear Spoiler is definitely one of their signature items, and today we're going to show you how to install that using our 2015 EcoBoost Mustang. The Roush Rear Spoiler is going to fit all 2015 through 2016 Mustang Fastbacks only. It will not fit the convertible. It also is not designed for cars with a factory spoiler, as it will not cover the holes. It's going to sit on the back edge of your trunk lid. If you have a factory spoiler, you're going to have holes when you install this. This will require drilling. It's going to be available unpainted in the gloss black shown here, along with white, race red, or deep impact blue. For this installation, we need a 1/4 inch ratchet, 10mm deep socket, short extension, 10mm wrench, panel removal tool, scissors, tape, center punch, drill, 1/8 inch pilot drill bit, 5/16 bit, 3/8 bit, 1 inch hole saw, file, magnet, flashlight, and safety glasses. The spoiler is going to mount on the outside edge of the trunk lid, pretty much just like this. The owner of our orange car decided to go with the black. The tie in the taillight panel should look really good once it's installed. Like I said, it will require drilling, so you want to make sure when you're installing this, measure everything carefully before you actually drill in your trunk lid. We're going to start by removing the inner trunk panel here. It's held on by 11 fasteners. There's going to be 9 of these little push pins you need a panel removal tool to get out, and these rubber ones here, you simply twist off. Now carefully remove the factory rubber plugs on both sides. Probably don't even need a tool to get your finger underneath there. You're going to have to drill some holes on the inside of the trunk for access, and then of course holes on the outside to actually mount the spoiler. Roush provides these templates for both the inside holes as well as for the trunk lid for the outside holes. Next step in the process is to cut out all the templates you're going to use later. The factory hole here where the grommet came out of is going to be our alignment point for the template. What we'll do is put it up against the trunk lid, the arrow's pointing that way, and get that hole centered. Once we do that, now we can center punch the holes. We're going to start drilling some holes. Before we do that, put down a blanket of some sort just to protect the paint from anything that comes off of the drill. We're going to start off with an 1/8 inch bit as a pilot hole for both of the holes we just punched. You want to make sure you don't go too far through this, as you can go through the other side of your trunk lid and end up with a drilled hole. What you want to do, I have a drill stop I'm using on my drill. If you've done this, just put some electrical tape or some tape around here just so you don't go too far through. Once you drill the holes out, you want to come back and deburr them. And you want to repeat the process on the other side. Once you deburred, you can see now we have bare metal. You don't want to leave it that way because it can rust over time. You want to put some sort of a corrosion inhibitor on there. You can use either a clear coat. I use a little bit of black touch-up paint. There's going to be caps that go over here, so you're not going to see the black anyway. Just want to make sure you don't have any bare metal so it doesn't rust. The template for drilling the main holes has 5 different alignment areas. The front edge of the trunk lid towards the glass, the 2 upper corners, and the 2 sides. What you'll do is make sure you get this centered. You want to make sure it is where it belongs. Everything is lined up properly before you even consider drilling a hole. Now, use as much tape as you need to make sure the template is laying flat. What you do is grab your spoiler, sort of line the studs up, make sure they do line up with them. Keep in mind it is going to be curved, so as long as we're inside the circles, you should be fine. Once you're happy with the alignment, come back and center punch all the holes, and then start with pilot holes. I'm now going to drill the holes to their final opening size by going off what comes on the template. These 3 outside holes will be 3/8, the middle is going to be 5/16, and then again 3/8 for the 3 holes over on this side. All right, now I want to grab our Roush spoiler. We're going to test fit it. Make sure the holes all line up. So now we're actually going to tape it in place. So we can flip up the trunk lid and look inside and make sure our alignment holes are good on the inside as well. Make sure the studs are visible. You'll be able to get the hardware in there to tighten it down. Okay, once you're done deburring the holes, at this point you're going to have some metal shavings inside your trunk lid and possibly also some residual from drilling the hole saw with a 1-inch hole saw bit. If you do, best thing to do, pop the trunk lid off. It's only 4 bolts. Get that metal out before you continue. Everything deburred now, grab a 50-50 mix of alcohol and water. You want to clean the outside edge where the double stick tape's going to adhere. I'm going to give this time to dry, so I'm going to do this first before we go to the next step. Same thing with these holes, you want to cover any bare surface so it doesn't rust. I want to make sure all the red pull tabs for the tape are visible. We're going to line this up again. And you're going to have a little play top to bottom with it. What I'm going to do here is put the 2 nuts on the outside edges first, just to hold it, and we can adjust a little bit and get it straight. Those 2 screws, and that should get you close in the alignment. Just take a look at it, make sure it's straight, and then remove all the red tabs. And we can go back in and tighten the outside screws. Just get them snug, you don't have to over tighten them. The tape can do a lot of the holding for you. Now we're going to put nuts on the remaining 5 studs. 3 of them will be accessible from the center here, and then 2 will be from the outside holes we built earlier. Roush provides 3 matching plastic plugs for all the holes here, the original hole and then the ones that we drilled. What I found is these fit well in those 2 holes, but since this is curved, I put the original plug back in here. It fits a little bit better. Now we can reinstall the trunk trim panel. And your installation is finished. I'll admit I'm usually a fan of the wingless look, but I gotta say the Roush Rear Spoiler really looks good on the back of EcoBoost Fastback. Matches perfect with the black taillight panel as well, so the black works really well with the orange and probably works with other colors too. The installation is pretty tedious. It's not very difficult, but it's going to take some time. Make sure you drill the holes properly, make sure your temperatures are in the right place. Figure 2 to 3 hours, be back on the road in no time.